What is up, friends? Eli here, back for another collection update. I was gonna do something else, mix it up a little bit. I've only done collection updates lately, but I guess you could say I was just lazy, and that's the sad truth. But I have accrued some stuff this week and last, so I figured I just wanted to do a video. I didn't want to put a lot of time into it because I don't have a lot of time right now. So yeah, here we go. But I got some cool stuff, so I mean, it's a worthwhile video. We got CDs, a couple vinyl records, some comic books, VHS tape even. So we're kind of running the gamut here almost. DVD even, if I said that or not. We'll start with the music, I guess. That way, if you, for those of you that aren't interested in non-metal, you can just stop watching after I show the music. I guess it's kind of a good idea, right? First off, I guess we'll start it with this. So, I've only really... This label has only really gotten on my radar in like the last month, if that, for some odd reason. So, I kind of... there was some hype surrounding it, and I kind of figured... it was kind of exciting for me to, discover a new label, so I figured I'd order 3 things from them. I haven't listened to them yet, but when I do listen to them, I'm going to be doing like a triple review, kind of, or at least like a breakdown. More of like a label spotlight type thing, but I'm excited for it. That label in question is, let's do it this way. Not that you can read this, but Maggot Stomp. A pretty fresh new death metal label out of, where are they from? I don't remember. I just got my order yesterday, and I don't remember. Anyways, out of the US, definitely. So yeah, I got 3... Maggot Stomp, they do pretty much death metal, brutal death metal. As far as I can tell, just death metal stuff. So that's what they specialize in so far. I don't know if they plan on keeping it that way, but it's cool. So, this is the only of the 3 releases that I had heard some talk about, so I for sure grabbed that one. We got Fluids, Exploitative Practices. Looks like this was a co-release with Severed Records, kind of very well-known brutal death metal label out of the U.S., right? U.S.? Very cool-looking CD there. Then I got this one right here, man. This band name, I'm sorry, like I don't pick on band names very often, but this one's just, it's just like so awkward to say. Unrurnment. Yeah, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Unrurnment. Not that you can read that, but this is a demo, I believe. Spiritual Penury. By the way, before I get too much further, I'm using my cell phone to record this video. Like I said before, usually I use my iPad, and it does quite a nice job. My cell phone doesn't do quite as good of a job, so if this doesn't look quite right, that's why. Yeah. Anyways, this was also co-released with Severed Records. Once again, a very cool-looking CD. And what's cool about these next 2 that I'm going to show is people that bought CDs in the 90s and shit like that might remember buying singles. And when you bought a CD single in the 90s, they gave you like this skinny case, and you could see the CD on the outside. I didn't know they still made cases like that, so it's pretty cool. These next 2 are just that. They're sold in single cases, which, like I said, I didn't know they made them anymore. That's a pretty cool thing. And the last one from Maggot Stomp is Inoculation with Anatomize. These are all death metal bands. Sorry about the glare. I mean, not that should I even still apologize about that. Yeah, all 3 of these bands are out of the U.S. Once again, a very cool CD. Inoculize. Alright, so yeah, Maggot Stomp. I'm excited to listen to those and talk about them a little bit further when I feel comfortable with it. Now, here's a release that I've owned this in the past, probably several times, so I'm glad to have it again. This time I'm going to keep it, hopefully. I don't lose it or something like that, but Misfits Collection 1, it's a must-have. original pressing. It's a must-have. You know, nothing more to say about that. It's got all kinds of classic songs. I mean, almost all the old Misfit songs are classics to themselves. But my favorites, I guess, would be, not that it matters, but Bullet, um, Skulls. Who doesn't like Skulls? London Dungeon's a classic. Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight? You know, it's got Earth AD on this. Death Comes Ripping, Green Hell, Wolf's Blood, and yeah, like I said, they're all classics. I also picked up, oddly, it's kind of strange that I never had this to begin with, but I just never got around to buying it for some odd reason. Got the Them Crooked Vultures, their Soul album that they did. If you don't know anything about this band, it was a super group, I guess you could say, featuring Josh Homme. I still don't know how to pronounce his last name. I just say Homme, from Queens of the Stone Age. Dave Grohl on drums, and John Paul Jones, a fucking Led Zeppelin, on bass. I'm a big Queens of the Stone Age and Caius fan, so for me it's pretty much a must-have. I don't give a shit about Led Zeppelin or even less Foo Fighters. Fucking Foo Fighters, man. I hate that band. But yeah, needless to say, Dave Grohl is a pretty good drummer, and his drumming does go really well, actually, with like projects of Josh Homme. Like, Dave plays drums on Songs for the Deaf, Queens of the Stone Age album. I consider that pretty much a classic album of modern rock, and his drumming is actually takes that album to kind of kicks it up a couple notches, takes it to the next level, you could say. Totally works and is great. By the way, god damn it, I think it's over now. I forgot to say what we were listening to. My bad. But if you like what you heard, we were listening to Cold Braun with Moribund. Sorry. Yeah, my iPad is just a much better camera. Cold Braun with Moribund, black metal out of Norway, from I think earlier mid 2000s. I have these in my distro. Awesome band. If you like stuff like Watain, they're kind of like Watain, but a lot more dirty sounding. If you like Watain, but wish they sounded more like more dirty, I guess, more raw, then there you go. If you like old Watain, I have the Nightbirds pressing, Nightbirds Records. Got them in my distro for I think $5, $5 or $6. Great band. Awesome. I wish I had more stuff from them, to be honest. Alright, so getting back to what I was rambling on about. I picked up Ascension Gate from death metal band Dawn of Disease. I believe they're from Germany. I think, if I remember correctly, this album came out on Napalm Records. I actually listened to this last night, and it was pretty good. It's kind of modern, maybe modern melodic death metal, I guess you could say. I say modern, but I mean I don't really mean that in a bad way. But it's a little bit modern sounding. But there's no stupid clean vocals or anything like that. It's definitely it's a pure death metal release, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. And I also picked up the newest album from Nile, Vile Melodic Rites. And I've always liked Nile, Nuclear Blast Records. I've always liked Nile, but this album is good. A lot of people were kind of wondering what it would sound like with, there were some personnel changes in the band. And even I was kind of like, I wonder, is it going to work? And it does work. It's a good album. I've only listened to it twice so far, but it's definitely a ripper. We'll leave it at that for now. So, that's all I have for the CDs. Let's get to, what else do I have? Got some vinyl records here. Definitely happy to show these. We'll start it off with a fucking big bang. One of my favorite bands. I've talked about them probably numerous times. Nazxul, out of Australia. Black metal. Let's take it out of that sleeve, right? This is a live picture disc. It looks amazing. It sounds great. The performances and the production on this album are just fantastic. I want to say it was recorded in like, I want to say 2002. Not 100% on that. Which is funny. I really want to talk to somebody from this band because I noticed they were playing Iconoclast, which is on an album called Iconoclast, but I don't think it came out for like, I think 8 years later after this. So they were playing it live 8 years before the album. That's kind of weird, huh? And I gotta tell this story because this was really funny. When I received it, that thing was stuffed in this sleeve, which really got me like. At first, I was like, "Oh, well, this isn't what I ordered." So it went from like disappointment to like, "Holy fuck, I want this! I'm gonna keep it," to like realizing that it was just the sleeve and no album. I think they just had an extra sleeve, so they stuffed my album in there. But got this Cannibal Corpse, Beginning of Cannibalism. Came out on Reek of Death Records. Only made 250 copies. It's got the 1989 demo and first ever live show in Buffalo, New York. So that would have been really cool to have. I can pretend I have it. I can put that on my shelf, but I don't have it, and it's just not the same. Anyways, I got that off Discogs from a seller that runs a store in Philadelphia called Sit and Spin Records. So, what can I say about Sit and Spin Records? I did not browse their selection. I wanted that Nazxul live, and they were the only U.S. seller that had it. But I can say that they, the price was fucking great. It was $10, only $5 shipping. They shipped it insanely fast. I got it quick, so I can only say good things about Sit and Spin Records. Then I've had this on CD for years, but now I have it on vinyl. Tyranny and Mutation by Blue Oyster Cult. Possibly my favorite BOC album. It is fucking awesome. I love this album so much. Oh, where'd I go? Sorry, guys. It's one of their earlier albums. I want to say it's their second album. As much as I like BOC, I'm certainly not an expert, so if I'm wrong about that, sorry. But I sure love this album. It came out in 73. Did I show the back? There's the back. Just, it came out in 73, so it's black vinyl. I guess I'll show the sleeve. Inner sleeve, anyways. Oh yeah, it's worth showing for this especially. Look at this live shot. Holy fucking badass. Look at that shit. How goddamn cool is that? Fucking great. Yeah, get this album if you don't have it. It's amazing. And another thing that I already have on CD, but so they were having a sale at on used things at my local record store. So I kind of capitalized on that. Got some stuff that like this next thing I might not have bought if it wasn't on sale, but I got it very cheap because I already have it on CD, and it's an amazing album. One of the best death metal albums from 2017. Atonement from Immolation. I mean, this album was just like the perfect package. First and foremost, the music was the best Immolation stuff in years, maybe even a decade. They brought back the old logo. This artwork was amazing. Some of the best artwork they've had in years. And even better artwork on the inside. The CD has a booklet that's got tons of cool artwork. So I guess with the vinyl, you don't get all that. But you do get some. I don't know the name of this artist, but look at that shit. Even with the glare, I mean, it's amazing. And so it's a double LP. I'll just show, well, maybe I'll show both, because there's more artwork on the inside. These jackals, I mean, that's fucking, how fucking cool is that? I guess I'll have to show the other one, just because the artwork is too good to be missed. And then just song titles and lyrics on the other side. And if you're a colored vinyl guy, which I won't deny, I like colored vinyl too. I don't spring for it, but when I get it, and I don't expect it, it's awesome. And that was the case with this. I didn't know it was going to be colored vinyl, but sure does look amazing. Look at that. Yeah. Probably one of the cooler ones in my collection anyways. So that's all we got for the music. Like I said, if you're not into comic books and movies and stuff like that, you can stop watching now. I won't even know about it. Yeah, no harm, no foul. Picked this up at a thrift store just because this movie's fucking cool, man. I love it. My son loves it. Fantasia. The weirdest Disney movie ever made. I mean, I don't think there's any disputing that. I also picked up this movie that I've never fucking heard of, man. If any of you guys know about this, let me know, because it came out not that long ago, 2017. Rendell, Dark Vengeance. It's the gimmick that they're kind of using to promote this movie is that it's the first ever Finnish superhero movie. So it's a Finnish movie. It just looked cool. I did a quick IMDb search before I bought it. There are people that liked it. A lot of people didn't like it, but I figured, I got it for a couple bucks. I'd chance it. Rendell himself, though he looks pretty cool, he certainly doesn't look unique. I mean, he looks like a combination of Spawn and Deadpool. But whatever, right? I'm actually quite excited to watch it. And we got some comic books. I'm sure this is where I lose the the bulk of whoever was watching, but that's cool. I don't mind. Speaking of Spawn, I was a big-ass Spawn fan in the 90s, and I still consider myself a fan, but I haven't bought a Spawn comic book probably in a decade. So this was issue 303. I bought it just because it had a cool alternate cover and really, drew the eye. I mean, look at that. Todd McFarlane cover, and yeah, like I said, I don't really need to bother reading it because fuck, I have no idea what's going on with the storyline right now. So, but I decided that I think I'm going to try to backtrack and collect the, Spawn issues that I don't have. I probably don't have anything since I want to say I have issue 200. That might be where I left off, but could be before that. Also picked up, kind of raided the dollar bin at this local store. Picked up the first ever issue of The Darkness, which I already do have, but this one I think is in better condition than mine, and I just couldn't let it sit there for $1. Yeah, I'm a big Darkness fan, or at least I was in the early days. So I picked that up for $1. Yeah, like I said, I just couldn't let it sit there, so I don't know. Once I go and verify that I still have my copy, and I'm pretty sure I do, and it should be in pretty good shape. This one's also in good shape, but yeah. If any of you guys are Darkness fans and you've needed issue 1 for a while or whatever, let me know. I'm not going to try to make a profit off this or anything. Like I said, I just couldn't let it sit there. If you pay me what I paid for it, I'll send it your way. And since I'm a big horror fan, I grabbed this. I've never heard of this comic. Came out on IDW Studios, which I do like most of their work. So it's called Night Moves, and it was the first issue, and it looked cool. So yeah, I'm stoked to read that. And in furthering my martial law collection, I think I only have issue 1 and 2, and this is issue 3, so hey, that works. Martial law came out some time ago. Was it 90s, I think? Epic Comics, the Epic label. And then I got these two because they were never on my radar back in the day. I did read some stuff from Malibu Comics, but I don't recall ever seeing these. They made a Necroscope series. This one's book 2, Vampiri, issue 3. If you don't know what Necroscope is, it is a series written by a book series written by a guy named Brian Lumley. Was it in the 80s? I want to say it was in the 80s, but I'm really no expert on Necroscope. Anyway, Brian Lumley was a very H.P. Lovecraft-inspired writer. You could almost say he was kind of like the heir to Lovecraft's throne. A lot of people would argue with that, though. A lot of people would say he's not that good, but I've only read a little bit of his stuff, but yeah, I don't really have a final opinion, I guess you could say. But he kind of he decided to kind of further, the Cthulhu mythos and stuff like that. So brave man, I'd say. That's not an easy thing to tackle. So this one is Necroscope issue 5. Yeah, stoked to read those too. So anyways, yeah, that's all I got. That's my loot for probably for a while now. I didn't think I would even be buying those things, but it just, sales at stores and, just random occurrences like that. So, yeah, all I got for now. If you want a Cold Bond Moribund tape, I'll leave a link to my store at the bottom. And other than that, thought I had something to say, but I don't remember what it was, so I'm not going to sit here and ramble. So thanks for stopping by. We'll talk soon. Cheers.